She was known for her kindness, her gentle care, her warm smile, but her ambition didn't stop at nursing. Behind the hospital walls, she was quietly pursuing a darker goal, one no one could have imagined. This is the story of Jane Toppan, the woman who turned trust into a weapon. In the late 1800s, Jane worked as a nurse in Massachusetts. Her patients called her Jolly Jane for her charm and friendliness. But behind her cheerful bedside manner, she was conducting her own secret studies. She experimented with different medications and closely observed how they affected people, even when the doses weren't prescribed. She once said she wanted to understand life and death, and everything in between. Her methods went unnoticed for years. She worked in multiple homes and hospitals, and the people around her often grew unexpectedly ill. Some of her cases raised questions, but never enough to stop her. She quietly took note of every symptom, every response, and became fascinated with the power she held over recovery or decline. And for Jane, it wasn't just about medicine. It was about control. In 1901, Jane cared for a woman from a well-known family. When the woman passed away unexpectedly, the family demanded answers. Investigators looked into Jane's past and discovered a string of questionable outcomes that followed her wherever she worked. She was arrested, and while in custody, she revealed far more than anyone expected. She admitted she had intentionally harmed multiple people over many years, and her goal to be remembered not for kindness, but for the number of lives she could influence. She was later declared mentally unfit and committed to an institution where she remained for the rest of her life. She died in 1938, still convinced that she had succeeded in her goal. Her story has become one of the most infamous in nursing history, a case of ambition turned to obsession hidden behind a smile. She wanted to be the best. She studied, she practiced. But her ambition left a long shadow. I'm the host. This is Last Words Lounge. Every whisper tells a true story. And some of those stories are only shared here. When famous author Stephen King was 17, he wrote a story called The Man in the Black Suit. The narrative follows a young boy who witnesses unspeakable acts committed by a mysterious man wearing a black suit. Although deeply disturbing, the story showcases the power of storytelling to confront darkness. However, there was a problem. King didn't actually own the rights to the character, which led to an unexpected turn of events. The author received a phone call from none other than Marvel Comics CEO Stan Lee, offering him a deal. Lee proposed that if King allowed Marvel to use the character, they would credit him and pay him $1 million. Impressed by the offer, King agreed. But as fate would have it, the deal fell through. Marvel intended to incorporate the story into the Dark Tower series, but ultimately decided against it due to scheduling conflicts. As a result, the rights reverted back to King, allowing him to self-publish the story in 2004 under his own imprint. Hard case crime, but the tale doesn't end there. In 2016, King's son, Owen, released the story as an audiobook, featuring a star-studded cast including actors like Ron Perlman and Willem Dafoe. It's a fascinating story of how the publishing industry works, isn't it? But now it's time for your last words. Leave a comment below. What is the most surprising thing you've ever heard about a well-known figure like Stephen King or Stan Lee? I can't wait to read your thoughts. And if you're as curious about Tales from the Dark Side as I am, make sure to check out our other videos, where we bring you the most spine-tingling stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Subscribe now and join me in my cozy corner of the internet, where the coffee is always brewing and the shadows dance with stories. See you soon with another chilling tale. Until then, stay safe and keep an eye on those shadows, because you never know what might be lurking in them.